Okay, welcome back everybody. In this clip I am going to be explaining in details how to use Visual Studio Code on my PCs. Don't forget I sent you the list of applications and softwares that you have to select from for Android, for iPhones, for PCs. I believe you have all installed each and every one of your apps. For PCs, I will recommend Visual Studio Code. Whatever I am sending, the code I am sending, the main thing that you have to do, you have to understand the skeleton of HTML, and then you work with whatever I am sending to you. Hope that is not confusing. Now, as soon as you launch your Visual Studio Code, as soon as you finish downloading it and you launch it, this is what you see, the welcome screen, right? Now, if your own is like this, you can actually toggle it from here, which is this Explorer here. So it's usually like this. Now, I want to show you how to create a folder and a file. The folder we're going to be working with and the file. I'm going to be explaining Visual Studio Code. I will also explain Notepad, so that anyone you're having on your PCs, you can actually make use of them, right? Okay, so I will go straight to my desktop. I'm going to minimize my screen. I'll come over to my desktop, right? Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder. For me to create a new folder, what do? I right click, then I come to new folder, then I'll say Ojitech web design. Ojitech web design. Don't forget we're currently learning web design, right? Now I have successfully created a folder on my desktop. That means the folder we're going to make use of is on my desktop. I'm going to move over to my Visual Studio Code. Now the next thing that I need to do, I need to open the folder inside my Visual Studio Code. For me to open that, I can either click here to say open folder, or I click on file, then you see open folder, as the case may be. So which one do you want us to use? Okay, we can either make use of this or make use of this. So let me click on open folder. As soon as I click on open folder, a dialog box like this will pop up. Then I navigate to my desktop. Can you see my desktop here? I navigate over there. Then what I'm looking for is on my desktop. It's called what? Ojitech. Which is what? Ojitech web design. This is the name. Ojitech web design. I've selected it. Then the next thing I'll say is select folder. Click on select folder. Then let's see what happened. Okay. Now it's here now. Our folder has been opened as the what? Ojitech web design. So you can close and open from here as the case may be. Alright, that's how to create a folder and bringing it down to your Visual Studio Code. And if you can see, the name of the folder is here now, which is what? Ojitech web design. The next thing that we need to do is to create a file. Now if you check the name region, you discover that we have new file, new folders, we have refresh and collapse. So we can actually create a new folder again inside this folder, but we don't want to create a new folder now. What we want to create is a new file, which is this first note here. So I'll click on it. Then I will now type in the name of the file that I want to create. We're starting with the introduction. I'll say introduction. Take note, when naming your file, you don't give space. You should never have something like intro, then you not give space and say introduction. This is wrong. Your code will never run. So you have to make sure that there is no space. For instance, you said, okay, my first work. You are not to give space like this, like my first work. This is wrong. They have to be together. My first work, form of one word, right? So but what we want to look at is what is introduction.html. That is the extension the extension is what? .html. If you notice, as soon as I put the .html, the HTML sign or logo automatically appears, meaning that okay, the file is valid. Are you getting it? So once I hit enter, it's opened. Now we'll not talk about the skeleton of HTML, whereby we have the HTML. The beauty of Visual Studio Code is, as soon as you are typing the HTML syntax, it will automatically bring up some suggestions for you. That is the beauty of it. So once I hit enter, now my HTML enter, it automatically what? Closes it for me. So every other code that we need to write will be written inside the opening and the closing tag of the HTML syntax, right? So inside the HTML, the next thing that we have is head. Oops. Head, right? Inside the head, we have the title. So let's call this introduction. Okay, if this is too tiny, let me zoom in. Sorry, I perceive it to be too tiny for you. If it's still too far, let me zoom in again. I can actually collapse this. Yes, once I toggle here, it's closed. I can open it again, close and open, as the case may be. So I believe it's better now, right? So we have HTML, we have the head. Inside the head, we have the title, right? So outside the head now, the next thing that follows is the body. We have the body, and in between the body, this is where we'll start writing our code, whatever we need to write. If this is okay, let me say I have a paragraph, a P for paragraph, then I set the prof, right? The prof, meaning that this is the whole skeleton. In this clip, I want to explain to you first the skeleton, right? Now let's say I'm done. For me to show this on my browser, what do? I save with what? On my keyboard, Control X. For those of us using Windows, if you're using Mac, it's Command X, right? Control S and Command S. Now for me to display this on my browser, I will right click on this title here, which is on this file name, which is introduction.html. I will right click on it, then I come over to copy path. Can you see copy path? Yes, you click on it, then I will flip over to my browser. There's some project I'm working on. Okay, let me which one is open? Okay, so I will flip back to my browser. The browser is kind of loading now. I am currently okay, good. I'll flip over to my browser. Okay, don't forget we copied a path here. We right clicked this and click on copy path. Now I'm going to paste that here now. Alright, in the place of this my URL, I'm going to paste it by, I will just Control V. Alright, as soon as I Control V, then I enter, I click on enter on my keyboard, enter on my keyboard, it automatically load this. Sorry, I have a lot of files on my system, and for the past how many weeks I've not actually shut down the system. That's why it's as if it's kind of slow. Okay, so now if you can see, we have the prof as a name here, because what we have here is the prof. And if you check the title, the introduction that we have here, this is the title, introduction. Take note that this title will be visible only when you are using a laptop or desktop, or probably you are using a tab. But as long as you're using a phone, this title will not be displayed. Is that taken? Yes. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you, okay, so we'll call it off here. Then in the next clip we'll start talking about the other things. Thank you.